Because there's a spirit soul within the heart of that person. No one loves the dead body. We love Krishna. Because that living entity is an infinitesimal part and parcel of Krishna, who has attractive qualities like Krishna, we're attracted. Any love for any person is actually just love for Krishna. And even anything. If you love your iPod, or you love your computer, or you love your house, or you love your clothes, or you love your furniture, or you love anything else like that. Why do you love it? Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. Krishna tells in Gita, everything in all material and spiritual worlds are emanating from me. Even the dead objects that we try to love in this world, they're all Krishna's energy coming from Krishna. And the only reason they have any attraction is because they're coming from Krishna. So everyone is simply loving Krishna. So why is everyone suffering? Because we have forgotten who Krishna is. All suffering is due to ignorance. When you realize the source of everything and repose your love in that, Krishna, then the perfection of love is realized. Srimati Radharani is the ultimate abode of all love. She is Krishna's Hladini Shakti, his pleasure potency. And Krishna is the ultimate object of everyone's love. Without Srimati Radharani's grace, we have no power to love. And without Krishna's grace, we have nothing to love. We are completely dependent on Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. And to give credit where credit is due is honorable. But this world in Kali Yuga is a very dishonorable place. Love is so powerful. Even a devotee's love conquers Krishna. This is the greatest of all the secrets of the Vedas. Krishna is conquered by the love of his devotee. Even a little part and parcel of Krishna like ourselves. Prabhupada said, not only the impersonalists want to be God, but you can conquer God. You can be better than God in the sense that conquer him by your love. Of course, we have to be totally meek and humble. When we have those qualities, Krishna is conquered by that love. And Srimati Radharani is the ultimate supreme abode of all love. Whatever love we have is part and parcel of her love. So how Srimati Radharani eternally conquers Krishna through her love. So Lord Krishna wanted to understand the glory of Srimati Radharani's love. And he wanted to understand the wonderful qualities of himself that she alone relishes through her love. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives example. Krishna was looking at a pillar, a jeweled pillar, and he saw a reflection of himself, and he wanted to embrace the pillar. He was so unbelievably attracted to his own threefold bending, beautiful form. And he realized, what is it that Srimati Radharani experiences when she observes my wonderful qualities. That was a mystery he could not even understand. And what is it? What is it that Radharani feels? The happiness that she experiences when she realizes the sweetness of his love. To answer these three questions, Krishna appears within this age of Kali with the sentiments of love and the complexion of Srimati Radharani. When Lord Krishna made this decision, he said, I will come to the world to experience the ecstasies of Radha's love. At the time of the Yuga Avatar, the Yuga Avatar will simply be a part and parcel, will simply be an amsa of myself. In fact, when I descend into this world, all the incarnations, all the forms of the Lord in all material and spiritual worlds will be within me. I will manifest the potencies and the divine qualities of all the various avatars and forms of the Absolute Truth. They will all be within me. And I will come to reveal the highest love of Srimati Radharani, and I will distribute that love through the congregational chanting of the holy names. But Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, although he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya, Lord Chaitanya is Radha in Krishna. Kaviraj Goswami explains the Absolute Truth is one, but for the sake of eternal, intimate, loving pastimes, they have divided into two forms of Radha and Krishna. And now those two forms have again become one as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna with the ecstatic love and complexion of Srimati Radharani. And he has come to give what no other avatar has done, to give direct access to the conjugal loving affairs of Vrindavan to everyone and anyone in this world. But Lord Chaitanya appeared in the role of his own devotee to teach us by practical example. Because after all, Krishna already told us in Bhagavad Gita. Vedavyas have already explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. But why no one can follow? There is a need for practical example. Srila Prabhupada explains it very nicely. He says a teacher is writing on the chalkboard, this is how you make A, and this is how you make B, and going through all the various tedious little exercises. Now the teacher doesn't have to go through those exercises, but she goes through all the exercises just to teach us how to do it. If she just said, make a diagonal line one way and then make another diagonal line another way, then make a straight line across, that's A. Everyone would be going like this, and everyone would have different versions of A. Yeah, so that's what we have today. The scriptures tell us everything, but everyone has a different version of the scripture. But when the teacher comes and says, this is how you do it. Diagonal, diagonal, like that. Everyone says, oh, teacher, you are very good. So she's going through all the lessons, like a student, to teach the student. So Lord Caitanya came in the role of a devotee to teach by his practical example. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did this for several reasons. One is to teach us practically, without speculation. If actually we study Lord Chaitanya's teachings to Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, if we read Shikshastakam nicely, everything is so simple, everything is so clear. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Prakashananda Saraswati, they studied Vedanta and they had such intensely complicated and erudite understandings of each verse. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained it in such simple and direct ways, they were baffled. It all made so much sense. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya explained Vedanta to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 7 days, all day, every day. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a few minutes explained everything perfectly clear. And Sarvabhauma, what? It's so easy to understand. Why I never knew. Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so kind, so merciful. He has taken the most complex subject and made it so simple. Even a child can understand. That is his power. And also, in this age of Kali, the Lord who knows past, present, and future understood so many people will claim to be God because they have some mystic powers or because they have tremendous knowledge or perhaps because they have very, very powerful charisma over others. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to establish no one can become God. God is God. We are all his eternal servants. If anyone ever indicated that he was Bhagavan, he would hold his ears and scream out, Vishnu, Vishnu, protect me from this great, great danger. We are all eternally servants of the Lord. No one has ever been, is, or will ever be God. But we can become godly and love God. That is perfection. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also did not want to disturb the intimate love between him and his devotees. In so many ways, especially in his childhood Leela, how all the Vaishnavas loved him so much and they were just praying and weeping and crying and begging Krishna, please make Nimai a devotee. He was putting them in ecstatic experiences. He concealed the reality that he was the Supreme. Prahlad Maharaj and Srimad Bhagavatam described him as Chanda Avatar, the hidden avatar. In Vrindavan, when some very learned Brahmins met with Lord Chaitanya at Krura Ghat, they explained how this rumor going all around Vrindavan that Krishna has descended and he's dancing on Kaliya every night at the Kaliya lake. We looked into it. It's just a fisherman on a raft with a lantern. And everyone's thinking Krishna is dancing, the raft is Kaliya, and the lantern is his jewels on his head. But then they said, but actually, Krishna has come to this world. Because you are a sannyasi. Om Namo Narayana. Sannyasis generally address themselves in this way, Namo Narayana. I offer obeisances to you, Narayan. And what does the sannyasi say to the other sannyasi? Namo Narayana. I offer obeisances to you, Narayan. I'm offering obeisances to you, and I'm honoring you because I am you. You are great because you are me. You are an object of worship because you are me. Haribo. So they explain, Lord Chaitanya, you are sannyasi. You are Narayan. Narayan has come. And Mahaprabhu, no, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. And he explained, Mamaivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta shanatana. That the living entity is the infinitesimal part and parcel of Krishna. He's never Krishna. We are always subordinate to Krishna. We're eternally the servants of Krishna. And they listened, and they were convinced. But Lord Chaitanya convinced them so much that they understood nobody in the whole existence could convince us that we're eternal servants of Krishna except Krishna. So we understand what you're saying is true. We are eternal servants of Krishna, but you are Krishna. Just like you can take musk and cover it with a cloth, but still everyone will know that behind that cloth is the fragrance of musk. In the same way, although you are covered with this beautiful golden complexion, we can understand that you are the beautiful monsoon rain cloud complexion son of Nanda Maharaj. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed his opulences of Krishna to them. Today we are very, very fortunate. We have with us one of the world's greatest authorities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes and teachings, His Holiness Radhanath-Swami Maharaj. We were in Udupi together, and I requested Maharaj to attend our Gaur Purnima festival, and he made an outline and a subject that we are going to speak on together. Today will be the most organized class that Radha Gopinath Temple has ever heard with me involved. Because all other speakers here are very highly organized. Radha Gopinath, Gaur Gopal Prabhus, Gauranga Prabhu, Govinda Prabhu, very highly educated, organized people, Shamananda Prabhu, Rohini Priya Prabhu. They're scholarly people. They just, everything is systematic and everything is very comprehensive and everything flows just perfectly according to the current of their love and devotion. But I'm kind of like an uncoordinated, unqualified person. I just kind of speak. But by Barsana Maharaj's mercy, he's bridling me into an outline. And we're going to speak on the subject he has chosen, and he has allotted each of us certain particular incidents to speak on to support this subject. And the subject of today's class, by the mercy of His Holiness Barsana Maharaj, is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme source of all avatars, and how in his pastimes, in this world, he manifested the qualities, the potencies, and the forms of all the greatest of the avatars. And I'm sorry I've spoken so much, but you have to fast till moonrise. So there simply is nothing else to do today. So I don't feel so guilty. Now we will request His Holiness Barsana Swami Maharaj to illuminate our hearts. Thank you very much.
Actually, Maharaj was just speaking about myself when he was talking about being disorganized, and it was he is the one who insisted on having some kind of format and outline to follow, which for me is practically impossible, but we'll make some attempt. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the avatari embodies the function of all the avatars, while at the same time he is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani, wanting to understand the nature of her love. It is the nature of Srimati Radharani to want to give Krishna to others. And therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani, was revealing various forms of Krishna to various devotees according to their particular mood of love. When the Lord took birth, Nilambar Chakravarti began to contemplate the Lord's horoscope. He found all the symptoms of a great Mahapurusha in that calculation. But at the same time, there was an unnamed, mysterious Brahmana at the house of Mother Sachi and Jagannath Mishra, who also calculated the horoscope and revealed things that Jagannath Mishra did not explain. That Brahman explained that this child is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan. He has come to this world to establish the essence of all religion. He himself will be the greatest preacher of that religion, and he will deliver the whole world. He will bestow upon this world that greatest treasure for which Brahma and Shiva and Shukadev, Goswami, and Narada Muni yearn, but cannot attain without his mercy. The world will become blissful and renounced and merciful by his influence. And even the Yavanas, the declared enemies of Vishnu, will worship his lotus feet. The countless universes will sing his glories, and he will be Bhagavat Dharma personified. That was the first revelation of the nature of the child being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the wonderful nature of Yoga Maya is that according to the Lord's desire, she sometimes conceals and sometimes reveals his identity. When the devotees heard the calculations of the mystery Brahmana, they became reverential. And when the reverence of the devotees limits their spontaneous love for him as a child, he again conceals the revelation which has just been bestowed, and they forget his divine nature and once again feel love for him as a child. Shortly, well, not shortly, but in his childhood, there is many pastimes, continuous pastimes, revealing his divine nature. Jagannath Mishra asked Nimai to get a book from the other room, and Nimai ran out. And they heard the jingling of ankle bells, just in rhythm to his movements. And when the Lord came back and delivered the book and again ran out, they heard the same thing, Jagannath Mishra and Mother Sachi. But the child was not wearing ankle bells. And then when they looked upon the floor, they saw where his feet had touched the floor, there was footprints marked with the symbols of Vishnu. And they did not make the connection. They thought that their Damodar Shila must be playing in the house, revealing his pastimes. And Jagannath Mishra told Mother Sachi to prepare special offerings for Damodar Shila, who is enjoying pastimes in our house. And Nimai was listening to this conversation and simply laughing. Then the pilgrim Brahmin came to the house of Jagannath Mishra, a very saintly devotee who worshipped the holy name of Gopal. He would just wander wherever his heart took him, and he was always chanting the holy name of Gopal. And whatever he obtained by begging or by foraging in the forest, he would offer to Gopal in great love and devotion. And he came to the house of Jagannath Mishra and Mother Sachi, and they were very honored to have such a saintly soul in their presence. And they offered to serve him prasadam, but he did not eat anything that was offered to his Gopal. So they requested him to cook, and they provided him all the paraphernalia. And he cooked an offering of rice for his Gopal. And as he was chanting the name of Gopal to come and accept his offering, his meditation broke by the vision of Nimai taking his offering and eating it before his very eyes. Just a very young child, Nimai. And the Brahmin cried out in great distress, "Hi, this child has spoiled my offering." Jagannath Mishra, Mother Sachi came running. Jagannath Mishra was furious. He took a stick and started chasing Nimai, who ran in fear and hid. And Jagannath Mishra was devastated that such a calamity could transpire in his house in the presence of such a guest. So he pleaded with him, "We'll take Nimai to another house. Please, cook your offering again." But the Brahmin was very detached. He said, I seldom eat cooked rice. I usually eat fruits and roots and herbs and whatever I find in the forest. It is clear that by destiny, Gopal does not want me to eat today. So just whatever is available in the house, fruits, roots, and herbs, please give me. And Jagannath Mishra said, "It would be a great offense on behalf of our family if you could not eat a suitable meal." So they pleaded with him to cook again, and they finally convinced him. Nimai was in the neighbor's house, being watched by the ladies who were entertaining him. But when the Brahmin finished his second offering, or he was making his second offering, Nimai somehow bewildered the ladies, and they lost track. He was revealing himself here and there, and then he just disappeared. And the nature of Yoga Maya, and you see it in Vrindavan also, the Brijabasis lose track of when Krishna is in Vrindavan and when he's in Dwarka, because his bhav expansion is so convincing. But they actually lose track of when he's in Vrindavan and when he's in Dwarka. And in a similar way, they lost track that Nimai escaped their vigilance, returned just as the Brahmin was making the second offering, and began to eat it right before his eyes. And the Brahmin's meditation broke, and he saw the Lord. He didn't know he was the Lord yet. He saw Nimai again eating his offering, and he cried out in great grief, "Hi, this child has spoiled my offering again." Jagannath-Mishra came running with the stick. Nimai fled, hid himself inside a room. And then the Brahmin was convinced, it is not the will of destiny that I should eat cooked food today. Just bring whatever fruits and roots are available easily, and that will suffice. And Jagannath-Mishra could not convince him a second time to cook again. And then Vishwarup appeared on the scene, who is considered to be an expansion of Lord Nityananda. But Vrindavan Das Thakur speaks about him and writes about him synonymously with Lord Nityananda, as if there's absolutely no difference. And the appearance of Vishwarup before the pilgrim Brahmin was such a revelation. His qualities were so divine. He was so humble, so gentle, so effulgent, so attractive, that the pilgrim Brahmin asked, "Whose son is this?" And he said, "I'm the son of Jagannath-Mishra." The Brahmin congratulated Jagannath-Mishra for having such a fine son. And Vishwarup began to plead with the Brahmin in words that were sweeter than nectar and irresistible. He said, "It is such a great fortune to have such a saintly guest as you in our home today. And such saintly souls live only for the welfare of others, and they're concerned only with the welfare of others. And if you do not eat as a guest in our house, our family will be condemned for inhospitality. So great souls feel only the distress of others. They're paradukha dukhi. And they're concerned only with the welfare of others. So please," he clasped the lotus feet of that Brahma and begged him, "Please cook one more time." And Vishwarup's plea was irresistible. So the Brahmin agreed. He cooked a third time. Nimai was hiding in his room. The ladies were watching him from inside. Jagannath-Mishra bolted the doors from outside and kept very strict vigilance with his stick. And as the Brahmin was cooking, and he again, for the third time, made his offering, chanting the name of Gopal, Nimai was thinking he was so attracted to the Brahmin's love and devotion, who was calling him by name, the Lord thought, "I will reveal myself to him." And then the Lord summoned his yoga nidra, who put everyone in the house into deep slumber. And it was also late at night by this time. And when the Brahmin was the only one awake in the house other than Nimai, and he was making his third offering, his meditation was broken again, as the infant child, completely naked, very playfully began to eat his rice. And he cried out, "Hi," again, but there was no one awake to hear him, except Nimai, who addressed him very personally. "My dear Brahmin, what is the problem, and why are you so distressed? You keep calling me by name, and I cannot resist your call, and every time I appear, you cry out in great distress." And then before the Brahman's very eyes, Nimai revealed to him everything upon which he had ever meditated in his samadhi. The Lord appeared in his beautiful, charming 8-armed form, holding conch, disc, club, lotus. In 2 hands he was playing a flute, and with one hand he was holding a pot of butter, which he was eating with the other. And behind the form of Nimai appeared a splendid kadamba tree, filled with varieties of birds. And then the vast pastoral landscape of Braj manifests right before his eyes, with cowherd boys and gopis and cows grazing. Everything upon which he had ever meditated appeared right before his eyes. And the Lord spoke to him that I have descended in this form to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. And I will take that movement to every town, every village, every home, every country of the world, to benedict the world with that very prema bhakti for which the demigods yearn but cannot obtain. I will bestow that gift indiscriminately to everyone by the simple and sublime process of chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. But don't tell anybody, the Lord told him. If you tell what you have seen, your life will be ruined. So then he began calling out in great ecstasy, "Hey Gopal, hey Gopal," and his crying out woke everyone in the house, and they came running to see him dancing in great ecstasy. His first impulse was to tell everyone what had just happened, but then he remembered the Lord's stern warning, and he just sat down and began to honor his prasadam. And everyone thought that he's very happy that finally he was able to eat. They did not realize the source of his great ecstasy, that the deity he worshipped was living in the house of Jagannath Mishra. And that pilgrim Brahmin, who all his life was simply wandering throughout the country according to the impulses of his heart, took up residence in Navadvip Dham and came to the house of Jagannath Mishra every day to see his beloved Ishtadev Gopal performing pastimes in the form of Sri Vishwambar Nimai. So now His Holiness Radhanath-Swami will reveal to us how Vishwarup was able to detect the pastimes of his beloved brother Krishna in the mischief of Nimai.